Hey, what's up, y'all? What's up, YouTube? So, we're back for episodes number 7 and 8 of All the Queen's Men. Episode 7 is called Kryptonite. This episode picks up where we left off in 6 with Shamika's husband with the bag over his head in Madam's office. Come to find out, her name is not Shamika, her name's Lola Wilmot. And Mr. Wilmot is actually a youth pastor at his church. So I'm guessing he doesn't really know what his wife's full time job is or whatever, because apparently she's undercover and he has no idea. Like, he doesn't know anything about the Shamika foster care system. None of that. Um, Madam tells Blue to call somebody named Massa. I'm like, who is that? So they take Mr. Wilmot to a back room or somewhere, have him on the floor. He's still naked with the bag over his head. Someone comes walking in, and the someone reminds me of a low budget Uncle Clifford, okay? Wig, outfit is and wardrobe is nowhere near as fabulous as Uncle Clifford's outfits were, but nevertheless, it's that same kind of a character. Uh, Madam brings Massa in to torment and to be sure that they get something to keep Mr. Wilmot from going to the cops or anything like that about them, kidnapping him and questioning him and stuff like that. So she tells Massa to do everything, um, but you know, because they threatening him with penetration, sodomizing, okay? And they have cameras there so they can see everything that's going on. So they're like, we're gonna get some pictures of you and such and such and such, because to make sure that you don't run back and let anybody know what happened here. Like, you're gonna act like this night never happened. Um, Midnight is there. He has an issue with this because he think it's wrong that they have Massa do something to this man or whatever. Because what Midnight is thinking that they're gonna penetrate this man up his booty. And excuse me, Blue leaves the room, and then Madam leaves the room, and they all get outside, and they talking to Midnight like, this not right or something. I'm not watching that issue on the camera and all that kind of stuff. So Madam's like, Blue got this. She gonna handle it. So that happens. Then what in the world is that? So that happens. Then with Madam is of course pissed because at this point she realizes that she been set up. It was all a setup, and that Shamika slash Lola is got to be undercover, but she doesn't know if she's undercover with local police or at the federal level. Or, you know what I mean? So this is some information that they gotta find out. Um, Amp. Amp wakes up. He's up cleaning the room or whatever. Him and Red comes in like, "What's up? You know how last night go? How much money you make?" Of course, being in his business once again, because he trying to figure out how much he gonna get out of stealing from Amp. That's what it is. But Amp is like, "Man, I sucked. I didn't make that much money. I made $2 or whatever." So Red is like looking at him like, bullshit. But he was like, "So what's up with me getting a job there?" So of course, Amp is giving him the run around like, "Yeah, my aunt says she don't need nobody right now, but I told you I'm gonna tell her to keep you in mind or whatever." And so, and Ray's like, "Cause I gotta get this money. I'm trying to come up or whatever." And as he's saying, how somebody give you a look like they really reaching out for your help, but really underneath the surface, they don't give a fuck about you, and they set you up for some shit. That's the kind of look that Red was giving Amp, but I'm not sure if the character was paying attention to it. Something else I wanted to mention that I didn't mention in any of the other reviews. I noticed when I first started watching that Kim Fields directed an episode, and then this one I see she directed this episode as well. But I'm not sure if she's directed all of the episodes. And if you aren't familiar with Kim Fields was on Real Housewives of Atlanta for one season. She used to play Penny. I mean, no, not Penny. That was Janet Jackson. She used to be 2D on Facts of Life. If you go that far back. And she also was Regine on Living Single. And her mom is famous, Chip Fields. Chip Fields is famous for playing Penny's mother on Good Times, and she was abusive to Penny, which was Janet Jackson's character on Good Times. Okay? Alright, got that out the way. But back to the show. So, and like, and cleans up or whatever, and I guess he's getting himself together to go down to the club. It's the next morning. Blue talks to Madam, lets her know that from what she knows, she asked Kat, the cop, do she know anything about Shamika or Lola, like to nose around to see if she could figure out something. She don't know nothing about this girl either, or whatever. Then she watches the house. They both leave the house, and they like, well, we know he's not gonna say nothing, or whatever. So I guess because of that, Madam tells Blue to go check out the club and make sure things right inside the club. And after they hang up, Madam is sitting in the car. Madam's sitting there trying to think, like, who would sick the cops on her? Why would the undercover try to get at her? Like, what's their angle? So she's sitting in the car thinking back on all the people that's been coming around lately and the issues that she has with them or whatever. Who all her enemies are or whatever, people she need to watch out for. Alright, so then Blue, she goes into the club and looks around, and she's looking to install some new cameras, but she comes across cameras that are already there, a few cameras. And she lets Madam know this. So Madam says, you know what, let's get El Fuego, since he's a computer tech person, let's get him to come in and scan the club and figure out if there's any more cameras or recording devices throughout the club. So they do that, and he does his due diligence and finds out that there are more recording devices in the club. So Madam's decision is to leave them on because you don't want the police to be, or whoever she's working for, we don't want them to be alerted that that we're on to them or we're on to her. So they leave the cameras in place. El Fuego says that he could do some what's the word, hack into their system or whatever to make the cameras appear like they record and stuff, but maybe it's gonna be a loop or something, so it's not like they're gonna really get anything that they need or whatever. So that happens with them. They at the club, they doing some dancing. Teresa is back. She's sitting down with a girlfriend of hers. Doc in front of her doing a little dance. She giving him money. Her friend tried to pull him towards her. She lets the friend know, like, no, that's me right there. Back up. Then she gets a phone call. She says, sorry, I gotta take this. So she goes off to the side. And as soon as she go off to the side, the homegirl to spill her fucking tea. Listen, she gotta, because he was saying, like, you disappeared on me for like 4 years. Where was you at? What happened? Like, you just disappeared and didn't come back or whatever. But the homegirl, like, listen, I'm letting you know, like, with friends like these, you don't need fucking enemies, okay? This bitch going to say she got a daughter. Or she got a kid. Did she say daughter? I think she said daughter. She said, and the little girl looked just like you. It's your fucking kid because she was cheating on her husband. The husband is shooting blanks. It's not his baby. And all of a sudden, she pop up pregnant. What kind of miracle is that? So she opens her phone and shows him a picture of the little girl. And it's like, it's definitely your daughter. He's like, wait, what the fuck? Like, so this fuck his mind up. He said, text it to me. She like, all right, bet, I got you. So she texts him the picture. Eventually, she gonna text him the picture. Teresa comes back to the table. He said he gotta leave and go handle some business, and he leaves them two sitting there because, of course, his mind fucked up about this. Um, Madam gets a visit from the concierge, which is Christian Keys' character, and we figure it out what he is all up to. The concierge works for another family. They must be some kind of big crime family. Maybe they in like the not the mafia, but maybe they might be like cartel or something like that. But they from some big. It's a big family. He works for them. He's their fixer, and apparently Alan was working for them. Alan was washing money for them and getting more money. So it was like they would give him a certain amount of money and product or whatever it was they was doing, and he would come back with interest on it. So because she took out, because he knows that she killed Alan, he knows he's been following her and stuff like that. He's been following her father, her sister, everything. That's why he had the guy go into the house and look and everything, because that's his job to know everything about a person. So anyway, he tells her, you need to decide what you're gonna do because you took away our person. So you gotta fix this for us, and we want you to do what he was doing for us. She said she ain't doing it. She got to think about it or whatever. So he said okay. So he leaves. Tell her she got a little bit of time to think. So she leaves, and Blue is like, "Madam, don't do this shit." Blue trying to keep it straight and narrow. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep this shit the way we have it already. So Madam is like, I'm gonna think about it though, because that's more money. And she like, don't you got enough money? We make good money in here already. She like, no, I'm gonna think about it or whatever. So that conversation is over. Meanwhile, there's a scene where fucking Shamika shows up. Well, Blue happened to go out back, and Shamika looked out there, and she looking like she's snooping around. So she claims she hungry. So she said, "Okay, I'll escort you to Madam's office." So Blue takes her to Madam's office and have her sitting in there. Told her to wait for Madam. So Blue goes out into the club and was like, "You know what? I caught that bitch out back sneaking around basically." And she was like, "Take her to my fucking office. I know how to play this. We ain't gonna let her know just yet that we know we on to her." So she in there. They go, man. So Madam is like, "You know what? We followed. I had Blue follow you. We saw your foster father. Blue saw your foster father on you, and we handled that. And so of course she shook because it's not her foster father. It's her fucking husband. So they torture her with telling her that we took care of it. We gonna kill him. And she was like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. I don't want him to die. Like she's still trying to play the role like she a foster kid, and then she under 18 and all this other stuff. Madam is like letting her continue to hang herself until she was like, you know what, we're gonna take you to the back. So she starts to say, okay, I work for the police. I work for the GBI. They like GBI, and she said Georgia Bureau of Investigations. We all know there's no such thing. It's either Federal Bureau of Investigations, Georgia Unit, Atlanta Unit. It's gonna be something like that. Not no fucking just GBI. So anyway, um, she said, I can help y'all. Just think about it. Like, I can feed y'all information or whatever. She trying to fight for her life and her husband's life at this point. She's begging, saying that, she a new agent. She begged for this case. They put, she begged for the case or whatever. She wanted to go undercover. So Madam asked, like, she okay? She gonna get, Blue to take her home or take her where she needs to be. And then the episode goes off. No, before that, before the episode goes off, before Blue catches Shamika outside, the men are in their den getting dressed. Doc gets a phone call from Tina. Once again, Tina is back. he tells her, hold on, he got to get to a more quiet room. The more quiet room is Madam's office. So he must have put her on mute, let Madam know she didn't call my phone. Madam say put it on speaker. So Madam and Blue listening into the conversation between Doc and Tina. Tina on the phone talking about how she love him. She miss him. She just want to see him. He asking why she just dropped, and disappear like that. Why she skipped town. And try to get me to say that crazy shit because you the one, you killed Alan. And she was like, no, I didn't. You know what really happened. And he was like, you didn't kill Alan? Okay. So she says, okay, I killed him. I killed Alan. Or whatever. So he convinces her to confess that she did it. Or whatever. And of course, Madam's office has cameras and things and recording devices so they can hear this whole conversation, especially with the fact that it's on speakerphone or whatever. So she says that she wants to meet up with him and she's gonna text him the address. So he's like, okay. So Madam's like, you gonna meet her? He said, yeah. So now we're gonna get to the almost the end of the episode. Follow back up with Shamika. So after this point is when Blue catches Shamika outside. They talk to her in the office. She's supposed to be taking her where she needed to be, and where she needed to be was the same room they had her husband in the beginning of the episode with the massa. But except this time, they have her tied up and hanging from the ceiling, like hog tied, like with her hands and everything up, pulled up with a chain and everything. So they talking to her, getting more information out of her, and she talking, making all these promises. Now it's like if you brand new to the Bureau of Investigations, how the hell can you make a promise that you're gonna be the lookout for Madam, that you're gonna go to work and you're gonna work for her, you're not gonna arrest her? Because she said something about she got a client named Tandy, so they really wasn't. She tried to convince Madam that Madam is not the mark that they're looking for. They really investigating the lady Tandy. Tandy and her husband are into embezzlement, and they've been embezzling all this money and all this other stuff like that. And then they know Tandy frequents the club and uses the dances for private parties all the time. So they was going in there and messing with Madam, going undercover with Madam to get dirt on her, to use that to get her to flip and tell on Tandy, or to set Tandy up, give them Tandy or whatever. So Madam, of course, plays like she know who Tandy is, but she has no idea what kind of stuff Tandy got going on. So then they was like, we're gonna kill you right here, right now, or whatever. So she tried to say that the police, she got backup coming, and Madam is not falling for that. So then she goes on to tell the truth. It's not about Tandy. It's about the fact that they got a tip that Madam runs with something called the raw gangsters, the raw boys, the raw gang crew. It's a crew of people, and they, of course, they must be selling drugs and doing all kinds of illegal activity, and that Madam had something to do with that, and Madam is washing their money. That was the tip. She claimed that's the tip that they had gotten, and that's why she was undercover or whatever. So, all right. So at this point, as I'm talking, I realize that I'm going into episode number 8, which is called The Ringmaster. I forgot to also mention, before we get further into episode 8, in episode 7, Babyface is having like a solo routine. He has some lady with short blonde hair on the stage. He's doing his thing, and as he looks up, Miss Patty on the side of the stage with her money, talking about he used to do that to me. When she said that, I fucking hollered. I fucking hollered. Like, she's fucking pitiful, man. Pitiful as fuck. But anyway, more to episode 8. So, Madam doesn't, is still questioning, Shamika / Lola, okay? And this is when she lets it all out about her being part of the, GBI, that they think Madam is laundering money for a gang called it's called the Black Rock Crew, not the Black Raw Gangsters. Black Rock Crew is the name of the gang and stuff like that. She asked, of course, she want to play let's make a deal at this point, because I forgot to say that one of the threats they made was that they wanted her to kill her foster father, which is actually her husband or whatever. And so she don't want to do that. And they let her know that once she admits that she's a cop and what her investigation is about, and that they have an informant that told them that Madam was a part. The bug on my glasses. Madam was a part, or laundering money for this Black Rock crew, or whatever. So she like, can y'all let me go? They leave her tied up back there, wherever she is. They go back into the office, and Blue is going off. Blue is head of security, but she really care about Madam, and I don't think it's in I want to see her romantic kind of way, because like I said, she messed with the cop named Cat, but she care about Madam and what she got going on, and she lets her know that she can't believe that this lady would think that Madam will have something to do with that, not when she got this club getting this money, and then that's when Madam lets her know, yes, their information is solid. I am the head. I run that shit. I'm the leader of the Black Rock crew. My father was a gangster. That was his crew. He was doing what he was doing. He got locked up. He went away. I took over. And Blue is fucking shook. Not shook like she afraid. Shook like, what the fuck? Like, I really don't know this lady as much as I thought I knew her. So Madam goes on it and lets her know, and let her know that she is gonna go along and do what the concierge is asking her to do, because she need all that. She trying to get all the money. She see the bigger picture, and she trying to use the money that's supposedly somewhere in the club that Blue keep telling her to get out of there. She want to use that and all this money she gonna be making laundering for the DeMarcus family and all that kind of stuff. And with the Black Rock crew, she using it, funneling it into other business ventures to cover her tracks and everything. But she not satisfied. She wants all the money. Okay? So then, like, Blue is shook. And also, we saw in episode 7, we did see when Madam was upset about finding out about Shamika, she wanted to go let off some steam, so she likes to go shooting. But they don't go to a range. They just go out somewhere and go shooting, like in a field or whatever. And apparently, in Blue's former life, she was a sniper. Okay? So she taught Madam, how to shoot and all that kind of stuff. Amp is at the halfway house once again in the room with fucking annoying ass Red. We see Mr. Bill come upstairs. Red is getting on Amp nerves once again. Mr. Bill come upstairs and tells Amp, your drug test came back. Amp like, okay, cool, it's whatever. And he said, oh, because you clean, you don't do no drugs, no drinking. He was like, I don't do any of that, or whatever. So he tells Amp to go mop the floors downstairs. So Amp goes down the steps. Red goes and peek over the railing to see if Amp is all the way downstairs without, so he wouldn't be in earshot of their conversation. So they go back into the room and they have a conversation. And, Red is like trying to sick Mr. Bill onto Amp. Like, I know he lying. That nigga got money. That club got money. It's money all over that club. Such and such and such. And, Mr. Bill is like, maybe he really is clean. Maybe he ain't who you think he is. He might be the one in a million that really is clean, getting their lives together, did his time and he over it. So Mr. Bill basically like, I'm backing off of the nigga. I ain't got nothing for him. I'm not going to set him up. I'm not going to do nothing to him or whatever. So Amp goes downstairs and he finds out that his drug test come back clean. He ain't doing nothing. We see Red in the room when Mr. Bill leaves the room. No, before Mr. Bill came in the room, and Red calls somebody and asks them. It's a female, whoever she is. Red calls her, tells her he need her to go over to Club E and have she heard of it. She like, yeah, but I don't go to no fucking strip clubs. What you want me to go over there for? He said, don't worry about it. I want you to go over there. And she like, well, I need money to go over there because I'm not giving them niggas my money. So he must have agreed on a price that he's going to give her to go over there. So she said she's going to come by the halfway house to get the money from him, to go spend at the club and be nosy to go, go spy on Amp. So when Mr. Bill comes in the room, part of their conversation is Red is letting him know that he getting somebody named Elsie or Elsa, something like that, um, to go over to the club and spy, see what she can find out about Amp, see if Amp lying or whatever about doing drugs and drinking and all that. See if he is straight up just dancing. Um, or no, if he is just working to do it, because Amp told Red he don't trust Red. And he told him, you so thirsty, you not a trustworthy nigga. Like, I don't trust you. Or whatever. So Red, of course, tried to apologize and make himself seem like he not as shisty as he's coming off. So Red tells Mr. Bill, I told her we was going to give her 400, so I'm going to give it to you and you going to give it to Mr. Bill was like, fuck that. I'm not giving her nothing because I'm leaving it alone. I don't think the man is doing anything he shouldn't be doing or whatever. He's straightened up and he flying right. He flying straight or whatever. So Aunt pissed off about that. Red is pissed off about that. So more in the episode, Aunt gets to the club after the drug, getting the results of his drug testing, cleaning up, mopping the floors or whatever he was doing. He get there for lineup and he's late. Um, we see Madam have a sit down with Miss Tandy. All of a sudden, Miss Tandy shows up. Miss Tandy asks Madam tells Madam she's looking forward to having a private party, and she want all the dancers. So they negotiate the prices and the length of time and all that kind of stuff for all the dancers to come to this party. Apparently, she has a girlfriend that's getting divorced, so she trying to show her a good time, to cheer her up or whatever. Um, so they get the contract together. They state was gonna be in the contract. Dime is sitting there, ear hustling, and she gets the contract together or whatever as they talk. Then Miss Tandy leaves the club. Madam goes in the back for lineup. Amp shows up to line up late. Usually they must pay a fee or something when they're late or whatever, and uh, usually they pay a fee or something when they're late. And she lets Amp know that you can't be late or whatever, and you're not getting special treatment because everybody know you my nephew or whatever. So she asks to have a conversation with Doc. Um, she pulls Doc into her office. She asks Doc that he meet up with Tina. Doc says Tina never texted him no address. So no, he has not met up with her yet. She didn't disappear again. So then she all of a sudden they call and she talking about she's sorry. She didn't text and all this other stuff. So they set up to meet at some point again or whatever. Um I believe in this episode Doc also is still reeling and feeling some kind of way about that baby might be his, from that lady. He tells Madam, he said the little girl do look like him and all that kind of stuff like that. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. Oh yeah, because I forgot to mention the girl did give him some kind of sample of something for him to do a test. And he's like, how I know if this the right, stuff. So it must be something with the little girl's DNA on it that was in that bag that she passed to Doc. What else happened in this episode? They dance. They get the contract. Amp is still making googly eyes towards Dime. They still getting to know some things about one another. Stuff like that. He talking to her in between workouts and, going back there and learning choreography and all that kind of stuff like that. Jay. Back to Jay. So Jay, they in the middle of the club being open and everything. Jay, excuse me, Jay approaches Blue, and There we go. So Jay approaches Blue in the club in the middle of everything going on, and was like, he need to speak. Who do he need to speak to? He need to go to Human Resources so he could file a complaint. He want to file a complaint against Freedom for drugging him, and of course Blue's like, a complaint, nigga, what? So he like, yeah, I want to file a complaint. She said, who admits to drugging somebody? He said Freedom did. He admitted that he did drug me. She was like, all right, well, you gotta take that up with HR. And he was like, well, who's HR? So she gets on her walkie-talkie. She calls HR. HR is a bouncer named Tommy. So she tell Tom, she said, go with Tommy. So he all Chipper J is clued the fuckless, okay? He is clueless about what it takes to be in his business and how cutthroat it can be, the things that people do to each other. He just clueless about everything. He all patting Tommy on the back, happy, like, thank you, man. Thank you, Blue, for working this out for me. Thank you for looking out, calling HR, whatever. So they get to the back. Tommy asks Freedom, yo, you drugged him? Freedom lied first to say no. Tommy immediately punches Freedom in the mouth, knocks him to the floor. Freedom gets up. And let me just mention this. For all the punching that go on in this show, we never see a speck of blood, anything that look like somebody might have got a busted lip. Anything to show that they've been in a physical altercation at any point on this show. Nobody shows bruises. There's no makeup for bruises or anything like that to show that somebody was in a fight. So he punches him in the mouth. Like, nigga, you drugged him. Like, he already said you admitted it. He was like, yeah, I did it. The fuck? You know what kind of business we in? Such and such and such. And so he said, listen, we don't do that kind of shit around here or whatever. And so he told Jay, he was like, ball your motherfucking fist up and punch this nigga in the mouth for drugging you. He disrespected you. He violated you or whatever. Jay, dumbass, standing there like, what? I don't want to hit him. Like, Jay's scared because he a little smaller than, well, he's smaller as in shorter than the guy who playing Freedom. So he's scared. He don't want to hit Freedom. So Tommy / HR punches Jay in the mouth for being a bitch. Like, when you going through something with somebody else in it. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Pause for a second. Oh, so Tommy / HR punches Jay in the mouth for being a fucking punk. Told him, back here we in this place, we individuals, we handle our own shit. We don't answer no fucking HR in this club, basically, and all that kind of stuff. And since you're a punk ass that can't handle your business, then you got to get the fuck up out of here and don't ever come back. So, but I'm not sure if he meant that both Jay and Freedom got to leave. Freedom got to leave for drugging him, and Jay got to leave for being a punk ass bitch. I'm not sure. So anyway, that happens. Then, the end of the night comes. Everybody leave the club or whatever, and Amp and Dime are leaving out the door to. No, did they? No, they did. Everybody get ready to go. People left or whatever, and then Amp finally decides that he's ready to leave. So he leaves out the door to go. No, is this? Yeah. Also, we see Trouble in the club this episode as well. I forgot to mention. Trouble is in the club. Madam lets the guys know, the premiere dancers. Madam lets all of them know that Trouble is now on the roster, and hopefully they're not afraid of her being in the room with them and all that kind of stuff like that. So she's gonna be dancing at the club now. And while she was in the club, her and Blue standing on the side looking, and some girl walks by and speak, and Trouble all looking at her and the girl making googly eyes. Blue put up on game, let her know, like, listen, that girl not really making googly eyes at you like that. Her and her man got some kind of sick, twisted basically toxic fucking relationship, and she like to come to this club and look at men and look at you or whatever, look at the dancers and make trouble to make that man fucking make trouble in a way to make him, jealous or whatever. So she told Trouble stay away from this girl. What Trouble do? Leave from beside Blue side and go over there all in the girl face. So this episode, at some point, yeah, Trouble goes all up in the girl face and all that kind of stuff. And then um Amp, is that happening? Yeah. Wait a minute. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been binge watching this show, so I gotta try to recall what goes in what episode, so I don't skip things and get ahead of myself. But what the hell? I remember her talking to her, telling her about the girl, telling her the girl would be jealous and stuff like that. That the girl, not the girl be jealous, but the girl do things to make her man jealous. Um, oh, I know what happened this episode. Amp get his first, VIP. Now, when Madam came to the back, when she did line up earlier, she let the guys know that Miss Tandy has contracted the whole club, all the dancers and stuff, to come and do that divorce party. Amp has a conversation with Dime about what goes on in the private parties and what's supposed to go on in the VIP. And because he's trying to convince her that he really into her, he trying to stay on the straight and narrow. He's letting her know like he don't want to, do any sexual favors or extra shit for the money or whatever like that for no tips. She like, okay, but you in control. You know what you willing and what you are willing and what you are not willing to do. So she also lets him know, and you got a VIP client. Now when the VIP person came, Blue introduced her to Dime, and Blue said, "Look at her. She paying $100 to go to VIP, but look at how raggedy her shoes are. So she a broke bitch. So she up to something." Oh no, Blue's having this conversation with Madam. That she broke. She up to something. We don't know what it is, but she up to something. So Madam was like, Blue said, so should we warn Amp? And Madam was like, no, I can't do everything for him. So he gonna have to learn for himself. So he go to VIP. She's sitting there with a drink in her hand. This is the girl that Red sent to the club. She got a drink. She asks Amp to dance. No, he tells her what he's going to do. He's going to dance. She was like, I want you to eat my pussy. He like, no. Or no, well, face in the place, as Rock says it. He says no, he not doing that. She like, well, let me see it, pull it out. Let me see your Zulu staff. And he's like, can we work our way up to that? Like, he in his mind like, what's the rush? What you trying to do? So he said, I'm just trying, listen, I'm not with all that. I'm just straight trying to dance for you. She said, you dance naked, right? You scared to show it to me? He said, let me work my way up to it. So she like, okay, all right then. She said, well, in that case, I'm only giving you $20. So he said, all right. So he danced for her or whatever, and they don't show them anymore for the rest of that episode. He meets up with, like I said, with Dime. He talks to her a little bit, and then he go on and he go to leave the club. When he leaves and gets outside, he's walking. You hear a car speed towards him and skirt, and some guys jump out and they jump at him. Dime happened to be coming out the door and she seen it. She shoots. She lets off one shot into the air and lets them know the next one gonna be in one. Not gonna be in the air. It's gonna be in one of them. So they get off of him or whatever. She helped him up. He said he alright. He good. He alright. She kind of like try to inquire about what that was about. Of course, he blew her off. He don't tell her what it was really about or whatever. So she offered to take him home, and they get in her truck. They show her, she must have dropped him off, because next thing we see her in the truck by herself, and she's calling Madam to let her know that somebody done jumped her nephew outside of the club. And at that point, Madam says, "Thanks for calling me and letting me know." And the episode goes off. And then, uh, yeah, the episode goes off. So, get down in the comment section. Give me your thoughts on these last two episodes. Let me know what you think. Let me know how I'm doing with reviewing the show, if I'm giving enough information or not. And also, if you're liking the show, your favorite scenes, um, lines that stood out to you in the show and stuff like that. And make sure you click the like button and subscribe to my YouTube. I'll talk to you guys later when I come back for episodes 8, 9 and 10. Okay?